Thank you for tuning in to F.M.S. ttt.v's Hill the Nation podcast on YouTube. The way you punch it in is F.M.S. Hill the Nation podcast, and you will see my logo. The logo to F.M.S. looks like this. It's a shield with a crown on top. So when you see that logo, click on that, subscribe, like, and share. And we appreciate your comments because others learn from that. I thank all those who have subscribed and has been with me for all this time and has learned and contributed to helping people that watch the podcast. And I ask that you continue to do so and share and, post so we could reach more people that need to hear sound advice, things that are beneficial to help them. So that's one thing. Now, as far as this particular podcast, I want to talk about sobriety and mental health. So, mental health has everything to do with everything in our life. The way we mentally digest things, the way we see things, the way we process things, has all to do with our mental health. Some is good, some is bad, some is in between. So, be conscious and don't feel alarmed because it says mental health or any of the other podcasts say mental health or sobriety, because all of it ties in together. Life lessons, everything, it ties in together. And the whole idea is to educate one another on our experiences and the way we dealt with things and the way we found out not to deal with things. So we learn from one another's experiences. I'm going to put the music on. I don't have any copyrights or anything like that, or get paid for it or anything like that. So I just want to let you know that I like to create an atmosphere. And I'm going to make sure I adjust this so you can hear me as I'm talking to you. But I think this is an appropriate song.
So, I just, share whatever the Most High puts in my heart to share with you. But I've covered a lot of base in the other videos, and there's quite a few people who have seen it, and there's a lot of people who haven't. So do look at the other videos. I do appreciate you, those who have seen it and commented, and it's very much appreciated. So, sobriety and mental health awareness, right? Mental health, okay. A lot of people start off drinking because sociably, or maybe peer pressure, or drugging, peer pressure. And that those pressures that they have, they feel that they want to be accepted. See, mentally, dealing with your mental health, that is a sense of wanting to belong. So that's mentally affecting you, and your mental affects your physical behavior. So it brings forth, it births into existence an action. And that action is based on your mindset and the way you perceive things. You don't want to be laughed at. You don't want to, people to think that you're soft, or that you're not grown enough, or that you're a square or something. So these pressures deal with your mental health and the way you digest it. And just say you do drink. And some people may drink because of problems. They want to pacify their problem, and they want to get away from that. They want to get away from the problem, so they drown themselves in their sorrows, as they say. And that's not something that is healthy. Not physically, not mentally, not spiritually. We all have to be grounded in the Most High. We have to know who the Most High is. We can't just jump to the end of the book and say, okay, I want to be a part of that, I believe. That's not how it works. The way it works is that you have to read the beginning of the Bible, or shall I say scriptures, and learn how God has dealt with his people, and learn what he likes and what he doesn't like. and know what he expects of you and what's entailed in being a part. So once you learn how he's dealt with his own people, it gives you a better foundation for yourself and where you stand and what you need to do in order to be accepted. Because just believing is not enough. So that gets back to your mental health, your mental awareness, mental state. So if you're grounded, when you are under pressures, you will lean on your high power. You will lean on your understanding of what's right and what's wrong. And that would guide you on your decision making from any peer pressure. So that peer pressure that you're under, or feeling like you need to belong, you won't have that feeling you need to belong because you know where you belong. So that's the foundation for anything in life, or any obstacles or anything that comes before you, is to be grounded in your relationship with the Most High, you know? So if you do that, then you have a sense of purpose, you know? And you can make better decisions and wiser decisions and not fall down and stumble over obstacles that may jump in your way. Now, not to say that anything's wrong with drinking. What I'm saying is that some people indulge too much, some people overindulge, some people drink sociably, or they drink for their sorrows, or whatever your reasons are. Be mindful of your actions. That gets back to mental health. So, if you are depressed and you're drinking, that is not wise. You know, even the Bible says that it's not wise for a king to drink, and for a prince to drink moderately. You know, so you have to be moderate in your drinking as a prince, and kings shouldn't drink at all. So if you're the king of your castle, king of your house, or queen of your house, then you are responsible for those in your home, in your kingdom, and you should not really be drinking, because you have to be able to make split decisions that concern everybody. You know, so that was the essence of what I learned from it. And as far as princes, they have to be mindful of their consumption. You know? So that doesn't mean drink to get drunk and all these different things and just living la viva loca, or whatever the case may be. I'm just having a good time. No, you have to be responsible for your actions. You're responsible for what you do. And that all ties right back to mental health. Your way you see things and the way you digest things, the way you perceive things. So if your whole attitude is, someone drive me home, I'm just going to let loose, and that's not really being responsible, and it's not really helping your mental health, because that means that you are undisciplined. So if you're undisciplined, then your actions are going to spiral in a direction that can get you into trouble. So therefore, that goes back to mental health, you know? And it's a life lesson, because we learn from our experiences. So if you realize that, I had 3 or 4 of them, and, I couldn't drive home and so forth, so you know you can't have 3 or 4 of them, so why would you try to drink more than 3 or 4, you know? So that's moderately. Okay, I'm only going to have 2. If I have 2, maybe, I could drive home after a couple hours or whatever, and everything's fine. So that's positive mental health, because you're reasoning wisely, and you're being responsible, and you're also monitoring your intake. So this way, you are in compliance with what you're supposed to be doing, and you're in control a lot more than you would be if you were to just throw all caution to the wind. So it's important. Sobriety and mental health in life lessons. F.M.S, Future Management Services, is geared on helping heal the nation. So we want to educate you and bring to the forefront things that you may have been thinking about and haven't really voiced, or you never really thought about. So this way we can help you to be more cognitive. Cognitive is thinking of is with your brain. It's your perception of thought. So you can be aware and be responsible for your ways and actions. Because one way or another, whether you choose not to be or not, you're going to be responsible for it one way or the other. Whether it's in God's eyes, whether it's in the legal system's eyes, your family's eyes, your children's eyes, your parents' eyes, whomever, you're going to be held accountable for your actions. So whatever your actions are and how drastic those behaviors become, there's someone that you're going to have to answer to. And you need to be in control of your actions, so this way you don't have to have that concern. It's important for us to think before we act. Think before you do things. Think before you speak. Think before you just emotionally respond. It all has to do with your mental health. What you've seen growing up, the things that you experienced growing up, your friends, your family, and a lot of us have grown up in dysfunctional families. And we may say, not me, or whatever, but there's a lot of things that went unchecked when it comes to mental health before it became in the forefront. So some of our family may have suffered slightly, mildly, particular areas maybe, with mental health. And the way they acted and responded, we accepted as a part of them. And we expect, we feel that was the best way to handle it, or whatever our cognitive minds may have digested to be normal. A lot of stuff we grew up with is not normal. And it takes a real strong person to realize and to be honest with themselves that some of their behaviors is not really normal. The way they see things, the way they do things, and some of the things that our grown-ups that we grew up under did or have done wasn't normal either. But it's been accepted because a lot of people did it or whatever. So just because the narrative that most people do it doesn't mean that's right. But we have to really rethink these things and be honest with ourselves. So, a solution to this concern. I would say the first thing would be to pray and ask for guidance, for sound guidance and direction, and be receptive to whatever the answers are. It may not be what you want the answer to be. It may be stop drinking. And some people are not ready to do that. Maybe stop drugging. Some people may not be able to do that. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, is this really affecting me where it's affecting my family? It's affecting my lifestyle. You know, and if that is the case, then it'd probably be wise not to do it at all. So anyway, like I said, sociably drinking, a lot of us, indulge or have indulged. Some of us are still drink, and it hasn't been a problem for some people. But you can ask yourself, put yourself to a test. If you can go a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, say 4 months, without drinking, then you probably don't have a problem. But if you put yourself to a test and you find that you can't hold true to what you said that you would do, then you probably do have a problem. So the first thing, like I started off saying before I put the music back, is we have to have a relationship with God for guidance and for understanding, for us to help us to understand ourselves. Like you pray for certain things to help you, things that would set the groundwork, the foundation for your understanding. The second thing would be maybe, like I said before, not to drink, depending on how it's affecting your life, or drug. And the other thing would be discipline. Discipline yourself in different areas, so that this way you can have a little bit more control. Discipline the way you respond to people when you feel that they're being offensive or whatever the case may be. Take a brief breath and think about it, and then act on the situation. Like practice how to be patient to listen to what they're saying so you don't misunderstand. And then practice how to be in control when you speak about whatever you're about to comment on. Try not to be so emotional in your responses and impulsive, because a lot of times when you are impulsive, you make the wrong decision or say the wrong things that you can't take back. And the damage is done, and a person may forgive you, but they will never forget. So thank you for tuning in to F.M.S. Future Management Services Hills of the Nation podcast on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, and share, and let others know about this podcast, this community, where we're helping to change the mindset of those of us who are looking for sound advice and guidance. So please comment, because I like to learn from you as well. And have a great night. And the Sabbath is should be about over now. And I just like to say Happy Sabbath, because it's about to end. So, Happy Sabbath, and peace and blessings to you and your family. Alright, thank you. Good night.
These are the F.M.S shirts. Fisher Management Services with our logo. That's our mascots. These shirts normally would go for $40, but I'm selling them for $30. Quality material, and they don't shrink and fade and nothing like that, because the printing is excellent printing, and the quality of the shirt is fine threaded. Very, a lot of threading. I forgot exactly what they call it, but these are the shirts that we have. And then plus we have some things on the Shopify too. So give me an email and let me know.
The day that you wake up and see it ain't anything you take it to be. You gonna have to face it through the math is basic when your path is equating to free. As it would be, master decree, K made son, last of the G-O-D. I'm the last of the creed, assassins, craft, that's true indeed, yeah.